I haven't seen it
Hand-holding and the
personally.
juvenile design behind every quest, line of dialogue, and character design makes me question why these games are even
But none of that has to do with including gay or fat or trans or black people. Like, none of that has to do with any of that. And you keep trying to like shove this idea in that everything that's bad about the game is related to those groups of people being a part of it, when that's not the case. That's simply not the case. Wokeness in video games. It's the scourge of every gamer across the internet. November Hotel here, YouTuber with 84.7k subscribers, is here to tell it all. Woke video games are bad games. They're bad. And this is a real problem that we must care about. Let's take a look.
Over the last few years, it feels like the gaming industry has been declining rapidly, and the threats are coming from all angles.
I disagree. I think there's been great games, and I'm not much of a gamer anymore. I kind of wish I was, that I could claim that title. But like Baldur's Gate 3 came out, and that was critically acclaimed. Elden Ring, sorry. Elder Scrolls is garbage. I love that game, but it's garbage. Elden Ring came out. Like, yeah, BG3, Splatoon. Like, there's all kinds of games that have come out recently that just slap. I disagree with this entirely. And also, that's not even to bring up the indie games. Like, holy shit. What a revolution we're in with indie games.
On this channel, we've talked about many of the reasons for this decline, from overinflated budgets to awful monetization, bland and repetitive gameplay designs, a focus on graphics over gameplay, and the myriad of glitches and buggy releases.
I can agree with all of this to some extent, especially for guys who make Elden Scrolls. I can't remember their name right now.
All of these are legitimate reasons why quality has declined in modern games, but not
Ubisoft?
talked about nearly
Ubisoft.
enough on my channel is one of the biggest and most critical reasons as to why modern games are failing. In fact,
Okay.
as sad as it is, many gamers have become more tolerant and accepting of these problems over here.
Bad monetization, broken games, priority of graphics, bland/repetitive game design.
And they aren't as vocal about bad monetization or buggy releases these days. They've become too tolerant of these issues, in my opinion, to the point where it doesn't really impact sales like it used to. Instead, the biggest
FromSoft, not Ubisoft? Oh, sorry.
deterrent for modern gamers is game studios and publishers' disgusting focus on creating games for the non-existent modern audience. Or in other
If it's non-existent, then why do they try to appeal to it? It doesn't make any sense. Like, this is basic market this is capitalism. This is how the markets work. If there's a demand for something, then they'll make it.
words, the obsession with creating woke
You're saying there's
video
no demand
games.
for it.
How many examples in 2024 alone do we have of that being the reality?
So wait, why are they showing this while talking about wokeness in video games? I would love to know like what specifically about this is woke so far.
Or in other words, the obsession with creating woke video games. How many examples in 2024 alone do we have of that being the reality? Conquered, Flintlock, Suicide Squad, Dustborn, Star Wars Outlaw.
Wait, this is Whiteborn, or is it Right Run from Skyrim. This is Whiterun. I was trying to think of the song because I'm like, I know I recognize this.
And the ones yet to release are
Classic.
already looking like they're going to be flops, like Assassin's Creed Shadows, Dragon Age Veilguard, and the Indiana Jones game. Now I think it's
I
important to
didn't know
note
there was
that a
one
lot
of
of these
those.
games are usually objectively bad or average games with or without the wokeness in them, but a company that prioritizes DEI and ESG scorecards will almost always create a mediocre product.
Wait, if it's bad with or without the wokeness, then you're recognizing that wokeness is not like the primary problem here. Like, I don't know, like it just feels like other things take precedence. Gay dollars? Did I miss him say gay dollars?
DEI ensures less competent employees will be hired on for the job.
That's not true at all. All DEI means is diversity, equity, and inclusion. You make sure that you have a diversity of people that you are choosing from, okay? If you're saying that DEI leads to incompetence, then you're saying that hiring more black people leads to incompetence. That's being a racist. That's what you're saying. That you hire more black people and they're incompetent.
And ESG funding means more time will be spent on hitting the woke criteria throughout every aspect of the game. In other words, woke ideologies are the priority of development.
Like what?
Taking precedent over game design in its traditional sense. Let's just take a look at a few of these woke flops of 2024.
Okay.
Starting with Concord.
Let's go. I knew he'd bring up Concord. Dude, Concord failed because it's a shit-ass game, okay? You know what other game has a lot of wokeness in it, quote unquote, is Overwatch. Okay, people are still playing Overwatch. It's one of the most popular games in the world, okay? And it had like an out open lesbian on it. Like it's like and all kinds of crazy characters. Like it's not a it's not a wokeness problem. It's a gameplay problem. It's a shit game.
Removing all the wokeness for a second, the game was average on its own.
Yes, exactly. Thank you. That's exactly what I just said.
A game that
it
didn't
was
bring
shit.
a whole lot of new things to the hero shooter genre, keeping simple game modes and basic gameplay, a terrible pricing model. Yes, Concord made many mistakes in that regard, but there was a foundation that could have been built upon. However, with some of the most hideous woke character designs on top of these problems,
Just
it only
like
plummeted any chance it had of survival.
okay, yeah, the characters, I'll be honest, they look a little goofy, but like that's not the main reason it flopped. It's just not.
I'm going to take a wild guess and say that if the
And that's a design thing, you know? Like that's not it's not like a woke thing.
characters didn't look like your average ESG checklist, and they didn't make
It's
you
the
want to
outfits.
vomit at the sight of them,
They're a little goofy.
I guarantee the game would have received a much more favorable view in the eye of gamers, and potentially could have garnered at least some sort of community. Video games are a visual medium, and good character design does sell games. It isn't the only important factor, but it's far more important than some of these brainwashed people in denial over all these game failures will ever admit. And if the Concord devs didn't devote so much of their 8 years and $400 million BlackRock budget to woke game design, maybe that dev time and money could have been used to actually create something groundbreaking in the hero shooter genre.
They're not going to suddenly innovate some groundbreaking thing just because they don't have wokeness or whatever. Like, what does he even mean by woke here? Is he talking about he's talking about the design of the characters? And I agree that those characters could use some design improvements. Their outfits were very interesting. But is there anything else that we're referring to? Like, you know, like as far as their design, like what specifically? Is it that they're fat? Like, is it because of their outfits? Like, what is it? Like, we're being very vague here.
Characters that were recognizable, badass, and heroes people would want to cosplay as or buy a poster of. But instead, it became the biggest flop in video game history.
Yeah, the big things to take away: $400 million loss. The game was in horrible shape as of 18 months ago before release. Not even monetization, no onboarding, most content not even there. The game was in such bad shape at that point that they spent the budget of it again in urgent outsourcing to get the game finished. Yeah, so Concord is Sony's biggest released game by budget to date.
Oh.
And it is the biggest loss that they've ever had as a company on a project before.
But he just explained every reason why, and it had nothing to do with wokeness. Like, he keeps undermining his point. It's not to do with wokeness.
Next, let's take a look at Dustborn.
Well, this just looks like dog shit. Also, I've never heard of Dustborn. Is this like a popular game that people were like really looking forward to or something? Or is this niche? Because this feels niche.
But we have a trick up our sleeve, kid. Let's trigger ourselves.
A black kid? Dresses like a writer? Does he know anything?
The black kid.
You are racist.
Let's
I don't even
go!
need to say anything about this game.
Dude, what the f is this game? I kind of want to play it now. Wait, what's it called? This looks amazing.
A kid? Dresses
Dustborn.
like a writer? Does he know anything?
Trigger!
You are racist.
Let's go!
I don't even need to say anything about this game.
I love
It's
it.
no surprise Dustborn is repulsive to 99% of gamers.
This game feels like a joke. I want to play it. It looks so funny. This might be the one game that I'm like, yeah, maybe they went a little too woke with it. It has to be a psyop. I don't know. I'd have to play it.
The game was funded by the Norwegian Film Institute, an EU creative
You
grant,
are racist.
and also the US government to be a
That's
new
how that works.
disinformation game. I mean,
Dude, the black people really do that though, right? Like they do when somebody says, remember that black kid, they'll just suddenly go, you are racist. That's how that works in everyday life. That's
Main
real.
character's superpowers are literally being triggered and the ability to cancel people she doesn't like. How anyone thought this would sell is beyond me. And no, I'm not the target audience, but the target audience is practically non-existent, and often don't play games in the first place, which is why this game peaked at only 76 players.
But like, again, was Dustborn like this groundbreaking AAA, like everybody's gonna buy it type game, or was it just like shit? Like just some kid made it thinking like this will be good, and then it wasn't. Like, this doesn't feel like a prevalent problem, you know? Like, okay, Concord, big game. If you can find me things to be upset about in that game, then sure. But like, none of it's like, you did not say that it's bad because it's woke. You said that it's bad because it's mid. It sucked. It didn't have anything innovative. It was just garbage. And the character designs were kind of shit, and I agree with you on that. Okay, but that's a costume problem. And when people refer to wokeness, usually they're referring to too much gay shit or the women are too ugly. You know, I haven't heard any of that from this guy yet, so I'm hoping that this is just like he's referring to woke as like, I don't know, like he's talking about DEI hiring, and I don't like that. But like, he hasn't really said anything about like specifically having too many black or the lesbian in the game yet. You know, I don't know.
A really sad example of a woke flop is with Rocksteady's Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. A live service nightmare, filled to the brim with Tumblr-level humor and left-wing propaganda. Some of the most atrocious race and...
Dude, left-wing propaganda is literally present in like a lot of video games that are critically acclaimed. Like, what's the one? One with Senator Armstrong. Well, I can't think of the name of it. I can remember the character, Senator Armstrong. Dude, that whole game is left-wing propaganda. And people love the shit out of that game. So it's not left-wing propaganda. Metal Gear Rising, thank you. All of BioShock is left-wing propaganda. Tumblr humor is something I hear a lot from people who don't know Tumblr humor at all. Controversial take, but I do think that there's a such thing as Tumblr humor, and I can't stand it. I do think there's a such thing. It's like akin to Reddit humor, Reddit humor. A little bit like that, but like a different flavor.
Gender-swapped characters, and it's honestly shocking
not gender
that this
swapping.
project was greenlit in the first place. A $200 million loss that leaves Rocksteady's future unknown. More than likely a closure. And
I just never cared about gender swapping. Like, is the game good or not? You know? Like, who gives a shit? Okay, they swapped some characters' genders. What the f does that have to do with how good the game is? There's nothing to do with it. You're just mad at it because I don't know why. I don't know why.
In the next few years, if not sooner. And some will only attribute this game's failure to the fact that it was a live service. But new live service games are constantly releasing, and plenty of them are succeeding. New IPs even. This game could have been good, but instead the narrative and dialogue was very obviously Sweet Baby Inc. influenced. Same with the character
Here
designs.
we go.
And some might say it would fail either way, but I want to compare Suicide Squad with a game called The First Descendant. There's a lot of similar...
The thing is, it can never just be that the game is bad on its own merits. It has to be like, oh, they shoved too many gay people in it. You know, there are too many gay people in my very cishet normative game. You know, the game that's supposed to be catered toward me, the straight person. That's the problem with it. Not the fact that it's mid, the fact that there are tons of games just like it but better, the fact that the character designs kind of suck ass. Not like their designs were kind of weird. Their outfits were kind of weird. I'll grant him that. But like, it's the outfit thing. It's not because there's too many gay people in it. You know. And that's what they're trying to do, is they're trying to tie the idea of something being bad with the idea that they shoved too many gay and black people into it. And it's disgusting.
Similarities, actually. Both are third-person live service looter shooters. In fact, looking at gameplay side by side, most people would say that Suicide Squad looks like a higher budget version of The First Descendant. And that's because that's what it is. But why does The First Descendant have 30,000 players right now and Suicide Squad has 300? I have a strong suspicion that character design has more to do with it than gaming journalists would have you believe. The First Descendant is not that great of a game. It's dumb fun. Just like Suicide Squad. But people want to play as these characters. And people do not want to play as these characters.
See, they're doing it again. I will grant that it's higher quality here. But like, if you want to stare at a girl's ass, just go watch porn, man. It don't always gotta be about like hot lady ass.
The same types of examples continue with Star Wars Outlaws and Flintlock Siege of Dawn, Pokemon Go receiving a more inclusive character design which made everyone look like a flat piece of cardboard, and with upcoming games like Fable and Dragon Age showing its very strong woke influence on character design, the future of those games aren't looking too good.
He, him, non-binary. Well, here's the beauty. You can be a cishet man here. There's nothing wrong with this. Show me how bad the game is on its own merits. There's nothing wrong with this part of it.
Either. I mean, with the latest Dragon Age, they're touting their most inclusive character creator. But you can't create anything that resembles real people.
I am a 108 pounds woman who sits for
Dude, they're video game characters. Sometimes they won't look like real people. Who cares?
15 plus hours a day. I am not even in my prime here, and you're telling me this is your 100% on the bum slider? Explain how this is your most inclusive character creator yet, because I can't even make my skinny bum in the game. I don't get it. Who was this character creator made for? Because it certainly wasn't made for me.
Wait, you can't make your butt any bigger than that? Oh, I see. So like, yeah, the complaint is that they can't make the butt bigger.
This character creator made for, because it certainly wasn't made for me.
That's the ass. Are you kidding me? Are you fucking is this is a joke? That's a 100.
I mean, I don't know, like, I don't care that much. It's the character creator, okay? This isn't even the real game yet.
100? No, it's not.
Apparently, the global population has no butt.
Yeah, they included Roach and Mold Man himself.
And everyone has A-cup boobs. And I'm not sure how that's inclusive, but it seems like someone at BioWare is offended by natural anatomy. But at least you can select pronouns and have top surgery scars now.
You
Yeah, who
can
cares?
have, this is the new Dragon Age game.
I'm not opposed to having a slider with bigger butts and boobs. I'm not opposed to that. It's just like a weird thing to complain. Like, it's a weird thing to make an entire segment of a YouTube video about. You know, that's like one of those things that's like, oh, that's weird. I can't make the butt any bigger. Oh well. Like, it's just like, get over it. Like, just play the fucking game. Play the game. Who cares?
Game. You can have top surgery scars turned on.
Great.
I
Who
cannot
cares?
imagine.
Literally, who gives a guess what? You can also have them turned off. Keep them turned off. Just keep them turned off. Compromise. We will make the butt slider bigger. Okay? Bigger butt slider, but you also get transgender scars. Okay? There you go. There you go. Perfect.
Anything more intellectually devoid and creatively
Inclusivity.
bankrupt than this. This is a fantasy world, and the only way to remove a person's breasts are the exact same way.
Oh yeah,
that we
that's his concern. That's his concern, is that it's not realistic to a fantasy setting. I'm sure that's the reason that you're upset about these scars being allowed. Like, nobody's ever complained about a scar on a fantasy character except in this specific circumstance. Oh, well, you're telling me there's not an easier way? But you can get scars apparently. Like, I don't know, like, there's scars. Let them be.
have in real life. This is crazy.
Oh, why didn't they just use magic to get rid of the scar? I don't know. It looks cool. That's why.
Absolutely insane. Why the fuck would you need top surgery scars in a game that has magic? This is a world where people
Maybe
are
the
able
magic
to
doesn't
change
work like
into
that.
other
Who gives a
animals,
shit?
But somehow you can't change into the other gender. This is
Whoa.
the most
Man, that is a that is a jawline right there, I must say.
surface level, basic, completely devoid of any creativity, a way to virtue signal that you care about trans people.
Despite what games
But some people just have top surgery scars. Like, we've had scar selectors in character creator screens since forever. Yeah, you can just give your character scars. Now there's just a new scar option. Okay, great. What's wrong? What's the problem? I don't understand the problem. Who cares? Who cares? Let it be.
journalists and fence-sitting YouTubers might tell you, influence from companies like Sweet Baby Inc. are easy to spot from a mile away, and they're extremely off-putting. Games with woke character design are so painfully obvious, and again, what games journalists will never admit is that character design matters in games.
there's
Nobody
nothing
would
wrong
want
with
to
her.
play as Geralt of Rivia if he looked like this. And
I don't know. I think that'd be kind of fun. Big boy.
nobody would want to play as
Why did he specifically pick these like fetish
nobody
pictures?
would want to
like he commissioned these, right? Like, it looks like he commissioned it, and it looks like it's supposed to be sexy. Big donut boy.
play as Geralt of
I love
Rivia
it.
if he looked
I would
like
totally
this.
play that.
And nobody would want to play as Lara Croft if she looked like this.
Maybe they would. Who cares? Who gives a shit? Like, it's It's fine. Fine. Let fat people exist. Who cares?
You'd never catch anyone cosplaying
Like, again, he is complaining about the fact that she's fat. Like, who gives a man? It's not that she's fat that's the problem. Like, it's because her outfit looks like dog shit. I'm judging her for her sense of style. It's a little shitty, okay? It looks goofy. It looks like you're trying to be like a cosplay Halo character, but you ran out of money. That's what it looks like. It's a garbage costume. I'll agree with you. But it's not because she's fat. Like, there's fat characters in Overwatch, isn't there? There's fat characters in that. It's fine. Some people are fat. Who cares? Get over it.
as a Concord character, or making fan art of a Concord character, unless it's people trying to improve the character design because the originals were that bad. But for some reason, people can't get enough of Overwatch characters. Gamers, and honestly people in general, want to see beauty and masculinity in their media. We are visual
Masculinity? Well, wait, why masculine? You're showing a woman here. It's a clearly feminine, I don't know, whatever.
And this right here isn't grabbing anyone's attention.
I don't know. I don't think this is the worst character design, honestly. I think this is fine.
Or has anybody saying, yeah, that hero looks awesome. I can't wait to buy a poster of that train engine. The fact that people were willing to play the first Descendant really speaks to how much character design
sexy.
means to
Whoa,
gamers.
whoa,
Tons
sexy.
Of people played Stellar Blade that probably wouldn't even think twice about it.
Whoa, I'm gonna jerk off to
Eve
this
was a
later.
total babe.
Whoa, sexy.
And some journalists
sexy.
don't understand that. And think
Whoa,
Stellar
she's
Blade
so
sold on
hot.
its gameplay merits
She's so
alone.
hot.
That's because these
Right,
journalists
man?
are brain dead.
Right?
If this was the main character of Stellar
Oh,
Blade,
no, not hot. Get off
it
that
would have sold
screen.
0 copies.
Bleh. Bleh.
One of the biggest problems with woke media is how sanitized everything
Like, that's literally the level we're on. It's like, come on, man. That's all you're doing. Oh, a hot lady. Definitely not woke. Come on. Stop pretending like you're smart. You're not. You're not all that.
Just listen to the dialogue
Go
in
goon.
modern gaming, especially in the latest Star Wars Outlaws, and you'll understand what I mean. Everything has become so inoffensive. Every NPC has to be so overly cheery and fake. It feels like uncanny
I'm willing to call this game woke.
valley at every turn because, God forbid, a
This game is
character
dog
actually
shit.
offends someone. Main characters have to be so dreadfully boring
Woke.
and have no morals of their own because what if the player doesn't agree with them? Morality choices in games are practically non-existent, so players don't accidentally side with an evil faction. The hint
I haven't noticed that being a problem. But like, if insofar as that is a problem, like it's always been one. Like in Skyrim, like you can, like, I don't know, like you can kind of side with evil factions, but not really. Like, I don't know. I just feel like that's not that big of a problem. I haven't seen it
holding and the
personally.
juvenile design behind every quest, line of dialogue, and character design makes me question why these games are even.
But none of that has to do with including gay or fat or trans or black people. Like, none of that has to do with any of that. And you keep trying to like shove this idea in that everything that's bad about the game is related to those groups of people being a part of it, when that's not the case. That's simply not the case. And you're trying to make it out as it is, and it's disgusting. It's gross. You're a gross person.
being rated M
Stop
for
it.
mature. The
Get some
dialogue
help.
and character design in modern games are so squeaky clean and sterile that they'd probably cry if being subjected to watch late 90s
And that's
Nickelodeon
not related to being
cartoons.
woke.
Genuine adult themes and realistic dialogue, mature dialogue, does not exist in modern games.
I disagree.
Again, despite what the lying games media will tell you and what some YouTubers refuse to say, woke games fail because they are woke. And they'll say,
That's begging the question. Oh, it's woke and it failed because it's woke. Okay, but why is it being woke mean it failed? Well, because it's woke. Like, you're begging the question. You haven't explained once what woke actually means.
what does woke even mean? Isn't
Oh, here we
Baldur's
go.
Gate
Okay, never
3
mind.
woke? Isn't Elden Ring woke? Oh, so a female protagonist makes a game woke? No, it doesn't. And these people shouldn't be taken seriously. They aren't trying to engage in good faith. Obviously, a game with a female protagonist doesn't make it automatically woke.
Okay,
A game with a
then
black
explain what
protagonist
does.
doesn't make a game woke.
We've explained now what woke is not. Now explain what it is.
A gay character in a game doesn't make a game woke. But somehow, we're all able to tell the difference between a naturally diverse game and one that is clearly propaganda.
Yes, somehow we can tell the difference. It's just like oh wow, this one's woke, but this one's not. That's crazy, right? That's incredible. Yeah, I want to ask this guy genuinely, does he think that it's woke to have a gay pride flag in the background of a game? Do you think that's woke? And if the answer is yes, I would love to know why. Because there have literally been mods made to mod gay flags out of games, and I would genuinely like to know how that made that game better. How did that at all improve your experience of the game, except that you are a little pussy-ass bitch you can't handle a rainbow being in your goddamn presence, being in your eyesight? How what a pussy you are, you know? I'm not saying that's this guy, because maybe he would be like, yeah, it's fine if there's a gay flag there. But if he's not fine with it, why? I want to know why. What the fuck is the problem? Let the gay flag be in the game. Who cares? That's why people think you're freaks.
You don't even have to describe what woke is. You can see
A
it as
damning
clear as
non-answer,
day
indeed.
and its influence in the game.
You can just see it.
How
Yo,
many
it's
times
just
do
clear
you
as
watch
day.
a trailer for a new game during a showcase and can immediately pinpoint the woke games and know how to avoid it like the plague? Then months later, that same game will get insane amounts of press from.
I want to know if he thinks, what's that one game where you play as that kid who has a guitar? He's like a rock star kid, and he like gets like he like gets something like stuck in his heart, and his heart like beats, and you have to like Vosh played it. I'm trying to remember it. Like his heart beats, and it's like a rhythm game. Hi-Fi Rush. I want to know if he thinks Hi-Fi Rush is woke, because Hi-Fi Rush was well received. And I'm sorry, but if any game is woke, that like bleeds wokeness, okay? Like that game is like, it's got the big girls and the twinks and like, dude, that game had all the woke shit, okay? So if that game wasn't woke, why not? Like, how can you immediately detect the wokeness? What are you talking about in that case? I feel like I'm tapping into my right wing side, right, from when I was younger, and it's telling me that Hi-Fi Rush would absolutely be considered a woke game. Yeah, and that diversity was in fact to its benefit. Yes, I agree.
From gaming news outlets, but come time for the release, it majorly flops. People can see it, they can sniff it out and avoid it. You take one look at some of these studios
Here we
and
go.
know immediately
See, it's
that
the rainbow.
whatever it is they're cooking should never be served.
Yeah, you take one look at a person, you're like, oh, woke, because you see that they have haircut a certain way that you don't like, wearing a rainbow shirt, and you just immediately assume that they're bad at their job. That's called being a bigot. You're judging people based on their looks.
You just know something
Fuck
is
you.
off with their games because it's not natural. It feels very forced. It feels like there's money behind it to push an agenda.
See, we're intimately
Because there
tying these
is.
together.
BlackRock and Vanguard and
here
similar
we go.
companies are behind almost all of these major flops because they're more concerned with pushing propaganda than making a profit.
Dude, this is literal conspiracy baiting. What the fuck? He's just conspiracy posting. He's like, oh, BlackRock, and they're trying to make you gay. They're trying to push the gay. Fantastic.
Have more money than God and God's banker. They are instead focusing on changing the minds of gamers with these projects.
But to what
and
end?
Thank God gamers are resisting it.
So wait, what's their propaganda goal? Like, what are they trying to do? If they were really trying to propagandize, you'd think they'd make better games, right? They would just make better games. Like Call of Duty, propaganda. That is pro-America propaganda, okay? Absolutely it is. And you'd be stupid to think that it's not, all right? But we're fine with that one for some reason. What's the propaganda here? That gay people are allowed in everyday society, that a rainbow flag isn't going to kill you? That's fine. I'm fine with that propaganda. That's fine.
And seeing through their bullshit. People can tell when they're being fed inauthentic products. When the diversity of characters isn't done in a way that feels natural. When there's a race and gender swapping.
We just
of
know
both
somehow
characters.
it's just
when
magical.
The developers' Twitter pages
We just
are
know.
full of hating white male gamers.
Here we
If you
go.
are still for some reason
Hating white male gamers. Dude, there's when's the last time that you saw a white male in a game played as a white man? The white male gamer is constantly being attacked. Oh, boo-hoo, woe's me. Dude, shut the fuck up, okay? I'm a white male and I'm fine. I'm doing fine. Well, this is your problem. This is the problems that you have in your life that you bitch about on your YouTube channel. Fuck off. Who cares? Who cares about your plight as a white male gamer? Who gives a fuck, dude? I'll wipe my ass
having a
with
hard
it.
time figuring
Fuck
out
you.
what woke is, let me spell it out for you.
Okay.
Woke people are those who are engrossed by social justice and think of themselves as saviors with moral high ground, obsessed
That explained nothing. Perfect. Thank you.
with preaching their ideology, yet they will always remain willfully ignorant to the irrationality of their claims and the problems they create.
What has been irrational about my claims? I'd love to know. You can debate me today. I forget your name. November Hotel. Hit me up. What's been irrational about my claims? I'd love to know. I'd love to know. If you happen to see this, let me know.
They want to desperately change norms and facts in order to cater to whatever the latest propaganda requires, and continue to
But to what
perpetuate
end?
mental illnesses as something to aspire to.
Mental illness
But
is like what?
we've been doing pretty good, lads.
When did mental illness come into this? Like that was the first time that's been brought up. When did mental illness come into this? That's the very first time that this has been brought up. Oh, BlackRock is trying to like goad us into mental illnesses? Like what? These are the problems that you're bringing to my table? I think not.
Every time we don't buy one of their propaganda slop games, we move a little bit closer to getting back to reality and reclaiming the games industry. We need to keep up the good fight and keep being vocal about this shit. We need to take back.
They literally take games that don't do well already and they're like, oh, this game's woke. Also, people aren't buying it and we're doing a good job by pushing back. Like, they don't say this about games that do well. Okay, I would love for somebody to show me a woke game that actually performed well. I'd love to know what their example of that is, okay? Surely one of them must have, right? Right? Like because he's telling people not to buy the woke games. But if the wokeness makes it so that people don't buy it, then you don't have to do that. So show me a game that's good and woke. People call it, what is it, Battleground 3 woke? Really? I mean, I wonder if he would.
Back the industry from these propagandists funded by trillion-dollar companies. And now I do wonder, who owns these companies? And what do they all have in common?
Is he doing the Jewish question? Wait, he is. He just Jew posted. He just did a Jewish question post.
These companies. And what do they all have in common?
Wow. Good stuff. That is what that was, right? I'm not crazy. He did a Jewish question. You will eat the bugs. Okay, cool. So like the entire time he was just like a fucking Nazi. That's great. Okay, full JQ. I'm just making sure. Good stuff. Well, we know that he's trustworthy. Hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see more, hit the notification bell to be notified when I upload. If you enjoy my content, you enjoy what I do, I really appreciate any financial help that I can get. Go to youtube.com/AlecGunterTTV/join. You got some awesome benefits, such as seeing early videos, awesome emotes that you can use in the comments of YouTube videos, and a sweet badge next to your name. So if that sounds interesting to you, I'd really appreciate if you join. It is cheaper than the cost of a blowjob from your mom. So with all that being said, thank you again for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.